Let's have a closer look at the new Koenigsegg CC850 today. Koenigsegg's first retro design for their 20th anniversary and 50th birthday of their founder Christian von Koenigsegg. The car is based on the modern Jesko chassis but tries to replicate the CC8S design, their first ever car. If you want to know more about the history of Koenigsegg and how they constantly improved their cars up to the Jesko, check out my other video in the description. Interesting here are the little changes we see compared to the original CC8S. When Koenigsegg started, they concentrated on creating a stable and timeless platform for future developments in both design and technology. The first CC8S concentrated more on power and top speed than downforce, because you need manpower and budget to develop downforce, both things Koenigsegg didn't have at the beginning. But now, 20 years later, they gained lots of experiences in all areas of the car, including packaging and aerodynamics. Although the CC8S and the CC850 look very similar at first glance, we see a significant difference. The CC850 is now guiding the hot air from the front radiator up and along the A-pillars, which gives a good pressure difference and hence increases cooling performance and front downforce. Koenigsegg changed the whole greenhouse design to match the proportions of the CC8S. The traditional center inlet at the back had the problem that the airflow couldn't follow the aggressive rear window shape at high speeds. To solve this issue, Koenigsegg used vortex generators in the past to energize the flow and keeping it attached. Only with the introduction of the Jesko they changed this area to now 2 air inlets, one either side. To match the CC8S design, they reintroduced the center inlet with the steep rear window here again. But to keep a clean design, they now use a horizontal wing element to keep the flow attached instead of vortex generators. They wanted to keep the rear as clean as the CC8S, but still wanted to keep the advantages of active aero. And so they introduced the top-mounted active wing we know from the Regera. Disadvantage here is just that you always see the black mountings, even when it's folded. A super clean look would be possible with a mounting from below, but that would give you less performance from the underside. At the side they are now using a large outlet to improve front diffuser performance, but they covered it to keep a clean sideline like the CC8S. They also reintroduced the iconic side intakes that create a vortex at the sharp top edge, which is not ideal for the intercoolers in the side, but the CC850 has 250 horsepower less than the Jesko anyway, so such a feature doesn't hurt. The diffuser is an interesting one. Previous Koenigseggs couldn't have a raised diffuser center because of the long and low-hanging gearbox. In addition to that, the exhaust wrapped around it and blew downwards into the diffuser where you want upwash for downforce. Since the introduction of their own 9-speed gearbox, they have much more space at the back and a much larger diffuser. With the CC850, Koenigsegg now tried to find a compromise between the old CC8S look, but with the advantages of modern cars like the Jesko. So they positioned a low exhaust, but still have a decent diffuser underneath. The gearbox itself might be the highlight of the CC850, as it combines a manual and automatic gearbox in one car. In my previous video I described exactly how this gearbox works. In summary, instead of using 9 gear pairings for 9 gears, this gearbox only needs 6 gear pairings for 9 gears. That is possible because of its free shaft design. What Koenigsegg now did was, they chose 6 of these 9 gears and allocated them to a certain shifter position. Good thing about this is that they have 3 gear ratios left and can electronically change the allocation. In other words, they can change the gear ratios of each shifter position. They then introduced a clutch pedal which creates an electronic signal for the gearbox and with a linear characteristic curve. Now they are still fine-tuning the system to make it feel like a real manual gearbox. Good thing about this design is that the customer has all options, the gearbox stays the same, and it still has an automatic mode to meet emission standards. So all in all, Koenigsegg once again presented an impressive car with innovations we cannot find anywhere else. Let me know what you think about the new CC850 in the comments below.